right, it is December 3rd, 2025. Rewind. And it is a Wednesday, the middle of the week, Mittwoch. All right, I'm in the Silver Slipper. I am in the cold weather, and it's nice that it did start. You never know with these diesels. I can plug it in, but I didn't plug it in. I did put some fuel gel in it so that, hopefully keep it from, and gelling up, because the diesel, when it gets cold, it'll gel up a little bit. Got some of that in it, but it started right off. So far, so good this winter. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it came from, Massachusetts, the car, so, it's already got the core heater in it, with the plug-ins. It's probably used to the cold weather. I should be fine. Franny. The Franny Show. Hi, baby. All right, so, I don't even know. I was going somewhere with the weather. Yeah, it's supposed to get cold tonight, I think. Single digits, wind chills of like -10 to 15. We'll see what happens tomorrow if I can make it out of the frozen tundra. It's not that bad. The Christmas trees outside are all decorated with snow, so I got that done. I'm on that. Got my thrift shirt on today. Another $2 thrift shirt, baby. I'm gonna go thrifting today a little bit. Got some time. I can get away. Get some stuff done. But I was thinking about, last night we were kind of talking about, first of all, I saw yesterday that Michael Dell, I think he was the founder of Dell Computing, and his wife, they have a foundation. They all have foundations, It's where they put their money, how they do things. Foundations, nonprofits, trusts, all that stuff. Something that's not tied to your name. Something not tied to your social. They're all smart about that and how they protect their assets, and that's why they have legacies and can continue to pass it along. But if you're a slave like us, your social's registered and you're tied into the system, and they come after you and everything you own, so basically you don't own anything. That's how it works. But no, they were going to invest like $6.5 billion with a B in what's it called? It's called Invest America. I think it's a new program that's coming out where I think the government's going to give $1,000 to not every child, but a lot of them, and put it in this special account that grows throughout, like the old school days. I remember. I used to go to the bank and I'd have a little passbook savings, and they'd write it down, the deposits and the withdrawals. You take your book in. And, you could keep track of it. You could save, and you'd get a little bit of interest, and so you felt really good that it was compounding, and you'd make more money. Well, the idea with this Invest America is kind of that same concept. Each person, each child born, maybe each person, will have their own savings account. And you can invest in the stock market. You can put money into it. You can put money into it tax-free, and I think it's going to be up to $5,000. So if you're working and you want to save for your children, you can put $5,000 of tax-free, pre-tax money into this account that can then grow, theoretically in tandem with the stock market. Now, side note, the stock market only grows because more money gets printed. So that's how money grows in this Ponzi scheme that we're in. You have to print more money. And so it flows into more things like the stock market, into housing, and it drives the price of those things up. What is happening? What are we doing? It drives the price of those things up, and so the idea is to have it in assets that are going to keep pace with inflation, which is the creation of money, the inflating of money, monetary supply. A lot of people think inflation is, price go up. Yeah, that's inflation. It's called price inflation. There's also monetary inflation that causes price inflation. So you can't have the price of stuff typically go up unless you have more money to drive it up. So as you inflate the money and blow up that balloon, there's more money in the system, and it's going to go somewhere. And the idea in this case with Invest America is that you are going to have an account that grows over the course of your lifetime. And typically that is what happens, because I'll leave this on. Fans probably bothering everybody. But it will keep pace with the inflation, the creation of money. Because a lot of it does go in the stock market. And so $1,000 is supposed to go into that from government money. I'm sure it's tariff dividends or something. But Michael Dell said he's going to give out of his foundation 25 million kids, $250. And so it ended up being over $6 billion that, he's going to donate. And so that would start out people with $1,000 from the government, $250 from Dell. That's $1,250. Barking at the snowplow. Really. So yeah, that's a good start. I wonder, I'm curious what else you'll be able to put it into. Will you be able to invest in cryptocurrency? Will you be able to invest in gold, silver, precious metals, rhodium? What's the other one? Osmium. It's like really rare. Donny osmium. I don't know if it's osmium. It's really a rare metal, like the rarest ever. Rhodium's pretty rare. I mean, so platinum, palladium are rarer than gold. Gold, I mean, I think it's way undervalued. I think silver is a much better play, just from the ratio perspective. We talked about it a little last night, but historically, it's been 10 to 1. The value of gold is 1 ounce to 10 ounces of silver. Now, that's changed and fluctuated throughout different cultures, but it's been pretty standard. I mean, 15 to 1, very conservatively. That's kind of what it was in the U.S. Kind of went to 16 to 1, I think, because we discovered a lot of silver in Nevada and different places at one point. But anything under 20 to 1, that's where it needs to be. And if you look at what comes out of the ground right now, silver to gold, it's like 7 to 1 ratio now. So every ounce of silver or gold that comes out of the ground, 7 ounces come out of the ground in silver. I mean, and especially if silver's getting eaten up in industry, which it is, it goes into cell phones, solar panels, electronics, and that stuff a lot of times doesn't get recovered. It might get thrown in a landfill, destroyed, and that silver's lost. Now, you can go recover it, but it's going to have to be at a price where it's worth doing, and, the extraction method, is it worth it? Or worth doing it? But yeah, 7 to 1 ratio, and then you're over 70 to 1 gold to silver right now. I mean, you got a 10x on your hands possibly, and usually it'll overshoot when people start to panic and FOMO into things. That's just how human nature is. But again, I just want to reiterate one thing that we talked about last night, and this is just my personal philosophy. You have a lot of people out there that say, don't sell your gold, don't sell your silver, don't sell your crypto. You need to stack that stuff. That's for a later date. That's for the future. And then somebody brought up, well, the future, you're saving for the future, but, at my age, it is the future now. My 20-year-old self said, hey, I'm saving for the future, but my 50-year-old self says, I'm at the future. And so there comes a time when that stuff needs to be used. That's why you save these things. You want to preserve your energy. You want to preserve that energy that you put out in the universe, put out in the workforce, that labor that you use. You want to be able to preserve that in something that's going to hold value over time, so that when the future is actually here, when we get back to the future, then you actually have something that's maintained purchasing power for the work that you put in. If you just put it in dollars and save it, I think we've lost, since the onset of COVID, beginning of COVID to now, the purchasing power, it's down something like 40%. So if you had $100,000 in 2019, what you can buy, the items that you could have bought then, you can only buy $60,000 worth of those same items. It's not good. And that's a horrible situation to be in. But they created $10 trillion during COVID, over the course of it. So what do you think's going to happen? And that's on both sides of the aisle. There's no savior here. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever's president, whoever's in Congress, it doesn't matter. Look at the chart. The creation of money just continues to go up, and it becomes exponential. I mean, we're $38 trillion in debt, well over $100 trillion with unfunded liabilities. Is that going to end? Probably not. There are ways to do it, but will it happen? It looks like, with Invest America, it's just kind of, it's another way to kind of kick the can. Now, it does distribute that wealth to, instead of big players, into more grassroots level, which I guess is a long-term solution and can get you off of this unsustainable path. But there are options that you can take right now. In the instance, the example of physical silver. I'll use this because I beat the dead horse all the time. In 1964, minimum wage was $1.25, and that would be 5 quarters. And those 5 quarters have 90% silver in them, because in 1964 and before they had 90% silver. Well, in 1965 they didn't. But if you made $1.25 in minimum wage in 1964 and saved it in quarters, that's $1.25 in 90% silver quarters. And if you'd kept those, right now those quarters are worth like $10 or more a piece. So that's $50. So that $1.25, you know, got inflated to $50. Has minimum wage caught up? Well, it was, you know, 5 quarters then. Is it 5 silver quarters now? No, it's not. But the key is that purchasing power got preserved over time. And for the longest time, people thought, oh, silver's not doing anything. But, well, yeah, it did. It held that value over time. And so look at those assets that you need to acquire to save for the future. But the point I make is there comes a time when you can make your life better and you can acquire more freedom. And I always call it check your freedom boxes. And you can use those assets that you saved, you've hodled. You should do that. I mean, peace of mind is priceless. If you can be in a situation to where you are happy and you wake up in the morning and you can say, you know what, I'm gonna grind some coffee beans, organic coffee beans, pour me some black coffee, and just be able to ponder and your mind is at rest and you can think, maybe read a book, watch the morning news show, whatever you watch, you know, and be at peace and calm and not stress about certain things. Oh my gosh, I got this bill to pay, that bill to pay. Check that box. Check those freedom boxes, because if you're falling asleep thinking about something and it's bothering you and there's something you can do about it, then do something about it. If you wake up and something's bothering you and it bothers you every day when you wake up, then and you can eliminate that issue, then you should do that. You know, and if it means cashing in gold, silver, crypto, then you should do that, because peace of mind is priceless. To be at peace. How much of a better person are you going to be? How much are you going to interact in a better way with people throughout the day if you wake up at ease? I mean, it's a great feeling. And not be stressed and not have the stress on your body, because, I mean, you know, we all have issues, especially as we get older, and that's one of the biggest things. You need to be at peace. You need to be at calm. You need to be in a good mindset. And if those things that you've saved can put you in that better mindset, I mean, is it better to think, oh my gosh, you know, I'm saving more of these, I'm getting more of these, I'm getting more of these. Meanwhile, your health's deteriorating and, you know, your attitude and your psychology is not good. And you're stressed. Maybe make a little switch, you know, take that asset and put it into the assets of happiness. So that's really important. I mean, it really is. And you have to make that decision, you know, what that balance is, but it's important to know that. I think it's important in life to make sure that we, you know, there's something to be said about freedom, you know, freedom of the mind, you know, and it takes the stress off your heart, because you can feel it when you're stressed. It's just like, you know, your heart just kind of feels that tense, you know, intensity in your chest. Dealing with difficult people, you feel it. And so letting that go and allowing that to flow through you, it's a learning process. It is, but it's an important learning process. And, you know, being at peace, finding happiness, freedom comes from within. But so make choices to allow yourself to heal and be peaceful and be happy. Okay, often ranting all over the place. All right, I love you all. I do, some more than others. All right, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Wednesday. The countdown begins. I can't wait. The Silver Slipper is going to be the airport shuttle. I'll be picking people up. Coming to the Winter Westwood event. It's going to be fun. Really looking forward to it. I've got some things that I want to prep up and cook. And, you know, I found a pressure cooker. I didn't realize I had it and what it was. I bought it really cheap, you know, brand new, and never used it. And so I'm going to pull that out, maybe put a chicken in there or something, you know, and maybe somebody will help me out and do that. Get that right. So I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just trying to get frickin' bread starter going. I don't even know if I'm calling it right. Whatever it is. I'm trying. All right. Have a wonderful day. Trust yourselves. Find that happiness. Be at peace. Can't put a price on it. All right. Have a happy Wednesday.